The season has been full of ups and downs, that high point in Mexico, and we've been really strong the last few rounds of this year. Let's see if we can finish on a high in Abu Dhabi. Hello everybody, welcome back to F1 Manager, welcome back to HGP for another Mercedes career video. We are on the precipice of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and it's the final round of the season. We so far have 469 points. We have 1 win, 10 podiums. We've won a sprint race. We've been on pole position 3 times, including in the last round in Las Vegas. Go and check that out. And spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, there was a surprise winner. This guy, Lance Stroll, who actually I've only just noticed this, is ahead of Fernando Alonso in the championship because of it. Absolutely incredible. So we've had a decent season, but Ferrari 6 wins, 21 podiums. Red Bull 14 wins, 31 podiums. We need to do better in 2024. There was a slightly concerning email that I got just before the weekend. They were concerned about the team's recent poor performance, which was actually Las Vegas, considering we started on pole and didn't finish on the podium. They asked when we can expect to see better results. I could have had a increase for a successful result, or confidence increase, or decrease. I decided not to take that risk. We're going to go for in time, because I've decided we're going to actually start this race from the back of the grid. We're going to give both drivers fresh power unit components, completely brand new for qualifying, and just see what happens. So a little bit like in Las Vegas, a tow does significantly well for you along the 2 straights. Russell exemplifying that by setting a purple first sector, because he got a tow in the first sector. He actually goes 10th and a bit faster than Lewis. Currently P4, the man from Kings Lynn, and his first sector is not an improvement, nor is Hamilton's. This is just the weird thing about F1 Manager. You do your final run in Q3 and no one ever seems to improve. Although Verstappen's improved, he's done a 22.4. Stroll looked like he got in the way there. Not an improvement from Russell. Hamilton not improving. Waste of a final set of tyres then. Sainz improves marginally. Leclerc goes 4th. Russell stays 5th. Hamilton stays 7th. So, bit of a waste of time in the end. One anticlimax. Alright, let's go to the race. Alright, grid drops applied. We are starting 18th and 19th. Let's just compare. Well, a 2-stopper says it's 4 seconds faster, but you have to account for the pit lane loss. Although, if we did that, we could almost certainly run aggressive like that. So maybe we try that and just be aggressive on the tyres. And Lewis, if we did an aggressive 1-stop, I mean, we'd absolutely run out of tyre. I think we're ready to race. We're going to we'll carry an extra lap of fuel, because we're basically going to be thrashing the engine the entire time. We're going to have a lot of power at our disposal in this final race. Let's see if we can use it. No fresh tyres for Lewis. That's why he'll need to box early. George does have a fresh set. We're starting at the back. What could possibly go wrong in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix? This could be we're both out on lap 1, or we could be, a well-timed safety car, we could be right in the mix. Let's find out what this season finale has in store for us. It's twilight in Abu Dhabi, and we've got 5 red lights and all Red Bull front row. The season finale is go. And we are right at the back. There's Lewis chasing George. Leclerc's 10th. He must have only taken 1 power unit component as a penalty. George Russell, a little bit blocked by the Alfa Romeos here. We're going to drive in clean air immediately. because then we can at least start to have a look at different lines. What's going to happen into the braking zone? Lewis Hamilton is thinking about making a position, then deciding he doesn't want to. And now we're wheel to wheel with both drivers. Hamilton with a double overtake there into the fast left-hander. Verstappen's actually lost the lead. He's starting on hards. All right, we've got to. Everyone's starting on mediums. We've got to be super aggressive. Russell has passed Bottas without crashing into him. We've got a yellow flag, actually. Who's spun up? It's Verstappen! He's off the track! What's he doing there? We don't want Hamilton overtake Tsunoda. We want to know what happened to Verstappen. He's had a spin. Oh, look at that.
Oh my.
Wow. Max Verstappen just blowing it. Need to watch the tyre temperatures. So we'll avoid high risk curbs. Russell overtakes Tsunoda. Hamilton going past Albon for 13th. But doesn't have the DRS, so Albon comes back through. Perez at the front, leading Sainz, both of whom will have been very annoyed to have lost out on the win last time out, and will feel like they need to make amends today. Right, Lewis. Are we just going to go for it here? Here comes Russell. Are we just going to tag team Albon here? Maybe. Well, Albon's going to have DRS again, so it's just a replay of what happened last time round. And Russell now going to sneak past Albon. Another yellow flag. We've got a crash. Alonso's... Has he hit his teammate? He has! The Aston Martins have collided again. Stroll is off the track. And we have a virtual safety car. And we go green again. Hamilton immediately up to 12th place, ahead of Albon. Russell as well. We've got another yellow flag. That's Alonso tumbling down the order. What's happening to Fernando Alonso today? He's had a lock-up now. He's taken out his teammate, and now he's... What's he done? Final corner. He's got damage to the front wing and just driven straight off the track. And gone and had a chat with the barrier there. So we're now 11th and 12th. And absolutely flying. A little bit of a car park at the chicane. Hamilton into the points on lap 7. He's overtaken Daniel Ricciardo, who's having the best race since his comeback. And we're approaching the point where he will start to execute that little undercut on everybody. And Russell won't be far behind. He's at peak confidence as well. Mercedes drivers are singing in Abu Dhabi. They are absolutely... Look at that. Absolutely fantastic scenes. Peak confidence for Lewis Hamilton. He's on high overtake aggression. We'll put George on it as well. Obviously, they're not going to fight each other. Let's put driving clean air. And then we'll move out. Go down the inside. Position gained. It's an easy recipe, this, isn't it? Why? It's not that hard. Surely it's not that difficult. Logan Sargent is 7th. What's going on? Well, Hamilton's had a little bit of a problem now because he's got to Piastri and Sargent who are battling and hasn't been able to find a way through. I'm guessing that's because the tyres are cooked. He's actually still avoiding high-risk curbs. Pit window entered for Lewis. So let's be aggressive on the tyres with both drivers. And I'm thinking now Lewis might go for it if we ask him to drive in clean air. We're almost 3 abreast. Will he just go for it down the inside? Not yet. Alright, 2 overtakes in 1 lap for Lewis Hamilton. He's now up to P6. Back to full peak confidence. Russell still in P9. But he will find his way through soon, I am sure. Okay, here comes Hamilton in for his pit stop. It's actually going to be a double stack at Mercedes. Russell's coming in as well. Slightly slow, lots slow. That wasn't ideal. Russell's much smoother. Will exit behind Alonso.
Yeah, just keep it on.
Yeah, that's the risk with a double stack, is the first car has a pit stop issue, and we did have one there. But we're now on the undercut, and let's go aggressive with the tyres. We'll deploy. We'll push everything on the fuel as well. Get the tyres up to temperature. So now we should undercut that group that's... Well, the group that was ahead of Hamilton was Ocon and Gasly. So we'll hopefully be a bit closer to them. But because we're two-stopping, we need to be much quicker. Hamilton still at peak confidence. He's actually just overtaken Bottas. Rinse these two down the straight. Looks like we've got a good chance of it. Late on the brakes. It was very late on the brakes. Hamilton passes Albon, and now I'm sure he'll have a great chance of passing Daniel Ricciardo too. Although he hasn't quite done it there. Oh, that was a late lunge. Look at that. He's forced his way through past the AlphaTauri. And that's another position gained for Lewis Hamilton. We have another virtual safety car. I'm not sure what's happened. Had a crash, apparently. DRS is now disabled. Has anyone got a penalty? Ricciardo's crashed at turn 16. Basically all by himself. So that's the end of his season. This is useful for us.
So VSC.
What could we do strategy-wise? Not a lot, really. Not a lot from here. We need to get to lap 40. We are currently on lap 30. So it just gives us a chance to cool the tyres, basically. Not really a lot we can do from here, strategically. Verstappen pits. And he's going to come out right around us, in fact. Just behind Russell. So what's Verstappen on him? Set of mediums. So he might be the target we're aiming for in terms of our strategy. As his mediums get a bit older, we might be able to close the gap on the world champion to finish ahead of him in the final race. Then that would be something. Okay, Hamilton has pitted and he is back out in 8th position. And we've got some 16 seconds to catch up to Carlos Sainz, who's on new soft tyres. But the gap to Gasly is about 17 seconds as Russell comes in now as well. So we can push with the fuel. Russell's stop goes fine. Hamilton's stop went without issue as well. There is Lewis. Retain his position over Russell. We can actually deploy with both cars for a little while. So we've got 15 laps to go ish and some ground to make up, but last time around Hamilton, well, it was 46 flat because he had his pit stop. So let's see what this lap time is. The Alpines are in the high 27s. Hamilton 26.2. Russell, okay, a 45.1 because he's only just pitted. Right, let's see how this gap comes down over the next few laps to Gasly. Sainz is right on them and the gap to him is 17 seconds. Battery drained for George. Right, let's see. We've got to catch them, otherwise there's not really a lot to show you, to be honest. So if there's not a lot, if there's nothing else from here, you know we didn't catch them. Okay, we have got the gap down to Gasly to just over a second with Lewis Hamilton. What I'm going to do in this first sector is actually harvest We're going so much quicker, we might even have DRS anyway. It looks like we will. Russell's lap times not as good as Hamilton's, I would say. Slightly better, but he's not closing in on Hamilton. But he is closing in on the Alpines. So let's drive in clean air with Lewis.
Pull to one side in places that will help.
And we'll top up the battery. Although we're going to go past the Alpine, so it doesn't matter. The tyres are just in that much better shape. Yeah, I mean, Gasly, less than 50% tyres. So he's got basically no defence. There is 8 seconds to Sainz, who's on old softs. And then that's another 15 seconds to Verstappen. So we could get Sainz if his tyres just fall apart and turn into jelly. But I think 5th and 6th is the best we can do. We've had some fun in this final race and overtaken basically everybody. As Hamilton goes past the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. Admittedly, that's the first time we've passed Ocon. And now it's George Russell's turn to go all the way around the outside Pierre Gasly. A beautiful move. Hamilton up to 5th position. What's his lap time compared to Sainz? Sainz is a 27.8. Hamilton does a 26.5. I mean, there's a slight possibility that he can catch Sainz. Let's drive in clean air, avoid high risk curbs and attack. Russell, avoid the high risk curbs as well. So Sainz's lap time a 27.7. Hamilton a 26.1. Chance of catching Sainz on the last lap, I'd say. It would be right on the last lap. Let's see. Russell finally gets past Ocon. Hamilton 3.4. What was the lap time? It was 1.7 seconds faster. What Sainz's tyres saying? At 41%. It's less than 3 seconds now. We might as well deploy. We probably can't push with the fuel. Don't think we're going to get him. There he is. He's so tantalisingly close. Oh, I just want to gobble that Ferrari up and have 4th position all for myself with Lewis Hamilton. But I don't think we're going to quite get there. We're going to be a lap short as Sainz negotiates some traffic, which we will also need to deal with, which I believe is actually Bottas. I thought it was Zhou. And Bottas, very unhelpfully, makes us go the long way round. Did we get DRS? We didn't even get DRS for that. I know, sorry, we will catch Leclerc. Not Leclerc, Sainz, because Leclerc's just started the final lap.
So we have low on battery.
Oh, we have a wonderful chance of taking this 4th place. I was completely wrong. Ignore me. Let's push with the fuel and deploy with the battery. We didn't get DRS, but we might down the 2nd straight. No, we're not. We're not going to catch him. I was right. Leclerc wins the race. And we're not quite going to get the job done on Sainz, but 5th and 6th, having started at the back, we've had some fun getting here. Hamilton's actually about to run out of fuel. He's right on Sainz, whose tyres must be absolutely on the edge. They are. Go for it, Lewis. Just send it. We're all on dead tyres. Will he go for it into the final corner? No. We're going to come up just a little bit short. Lewis Hamilton runs out of fuel. He's run out of fuel. Russell has stolen 5th place. Hamilton retires and will actually finish 9th because Norris is lapped. Great. All that was for nothing. Well, it was for 2 points. Complete a full season. Yeah, wonderful. We ran out of fuel on the last lap. Oh well. Well, we've made it to the end of the season. Hamilton wins the inter-team battle at Mercedes. He takes a race win and a sprint win. 3 poles, 2 fastest laps. He's actually had 2 failures to finish. Russell fails to finish 4 races. And then 5 podiums for Lewis, 5 for George. Obviously Lewis having that victory. Alonso beats Stroll by a point, and definitely not because he punted him into the wall. Unbelievable. Charles Leclerc finishes runner-up to Max Verstappen for the 2nd year in a row. Sergio Perez not happy about that. Carlos Sainz hangs on for 4th. Constructors-wise, we finish miles ahead of Aston Martin, even further behind Ferrari, and Red Bull are just a dot in the distance. AlphaTauri 6 points. Alfa Romeo only pick up 2 points in the end. So yeah, that is the completion of season 1 of F1 Manager with Mercedes. And of course, if you enjoyed that video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to make sure you're ready for season 2. Just also a big thank you to everyone who's supported the series by leaving a comment, by liking it, by sharing a video. It's massively appreciated. And here's to more success, hopefully, with Mercedes in season 2. And just a big thank you to everyone who's supporting the videos. It's massively appreciated. And you are truly the best fans. I'll see you in season 2 for more Mercedes F1 Manager. See you then. Bye for now.